Hey there, Army Ants. Welcome to another tutorial video. This time I've got Firebot Interactive for you. So this is really early on and it's progressing and being developed like a lot. So there are quite a few changes. I'm going to do my best to cover them all. While this doesn't have as much as Squirtbot does, it is still fairly new to me and fairly new to a lot of people. So I haven't quite figured everything out, but I'm going to do my best to try to convey the information as easy as possible. So first off, you're going to want to head over to GitHub and download the latest release, which just came out very recently. All right, once it's downloaded, you're going to want to, of course, launch it. And then you're going to want to go over here to the login. This has OAuth with Beam, so you're going to be signing into your Beam account, and then if you have two-factor authentication, that is going to need to be input as well. You can also log in with Microsoft Twitter and or Discord if you want. If you have a bot account, which most people do, that's what you would use to rename like Squirtbot or Scottybot or what have you, you can sign into your bot account here, so that way all text commands get sent via the bot if you want. So once you've signed in, you're going to want to head down over to boards. And to get a soundboard in, you're going to want to hit action, add board. All right, so once you've got your board named, you're going to want to head back over to here, click actions, and then click on import board. This JSON import is going to be found over here at the Beam.pro /lab, and or you can click right over here next to your avatar and icon, and then go down here and click devlab, and that will bring you to this page. You're going to want to create a game. Click plus over here to create a game. Name it whatever you're wanting the whatever you're wanting the game to actually be named. I have Starred and Diablo 3 and of course the two soundboards. I'm going to head over here into the controller editor. And then once you've gotten, I like to set up everything in here first. So once you've gotten all your button layouts and all your names situated, you're going to want to hit save. And then after you've hit save, you're going to want to hit view JSON. You're going to want to control A, control C, and then come up here and then control V and then hit save. I've already done so, so I'm not going to. After you've hit save, it is only going to actually import the game controls, and those are the only ones that are going to be stationary. Everything else is pretty much going to get wiped back to what's called a nothing button. So you're going to have to go in here and you're going to want to use your reference name, and then my known nostalgia is a media button, so I'm going to go down here and then click media, and then you're going to hit attach media, and this is going to bring open the drop down menu. You're going to want to hit choose your audio file. You can also attach images to it if you want, which is super handy. And also each individual button has its own volume slider, which is very nice. So if you have a quieter sound, you can leave it at 100, or if you've got a really loud one, you can turn it down just a bit, so that way it's not as ear piercing. As for the images, you can place them pretty much on any side of the screen. You put that to your choosing. You can also have a duration. I believe this is in seconds. But to use the image pop-ups, as you can see, the image will need to load over in the overlay.html file located in the Firebot overlay folder into your streaming software. We will get to that in just a second. All right, I've already got that one set, so cancel. Again, this is another sound. We won't get into that. The next button that we're going to be looking into is the API buttons. So this is similar to the Catfax API button that I had shown you within the Squirtbot tutorial, if you guys had watched that. What this is going to do is it's going to pull information from a third-party site, and it's actually going to allow you to have different types of APIs being read, whether it's advice from an, I don't know what websites or third-party services they're using, but you can get cat pictures, cat facts, dog pictures, and dog facts. I'm assuming these are cutesy facts and or pictures. This is, as you can see, just advice. This would be Pokemon type stuff, and this is number trivia. So we're going to go on Pokemon. We'll save that. All right, the next button that we're going to be looking at is the celebration button. This one is completely new to me, just came out in this most recent update, so we will be looking at that together. You can attach images and sounds with it as well, but seeing as it is a image itself, we won't be adding anything to it. We could add a sound, but we're just going to leave it at default. Just check it out. There's currently only fireworks. I believe they're going, by they, I mean Firebottle, excuse me. He's going to be adding a couple more. I believe like confetti would be a thing, you know, streamers or party poppers, what have you. So there we go. Again, this is going to require the overlay, so we will get to that in just a moment. This next button is going to be game controls. This is the one that's actually going to stay when you import your JSON, like I had said earlier, but this is what's going to allow people to control the game and or just troll you. You can set it for a single use, so this is just one key being pressed, or you can set it up for multi-keys, so that way you can press multiple keys at once. You know, for example, if the game has like Shift D or whatever to like strafe or like do a jump or something like that, you could actually do so and turn giving the viewers a little bit more freedom over the button presses, which is awesome. The opposite button is going to be your comparison key. So if you have up being pressed, you'll probably want down being your comparison key, so that way the movements and the motions are a little bit more smoother and they don't stutter, skip, and or jar, and you won't miss as many key presses, which is pretty handy. And again, this is the game control, so we're just gonna set this up as the opposite so that way we can use them. All right, this last one is going to be text. This is what you would think it is. It's just going to allow you to convey text into the chat without having to type the same thing over and over. So like, for instance, if you've got like a awesome quote that's just really hilarious and you want people to be able to press a button for like when you fail and oh, there goes the quote, rather than having to type a command, you can do so. And if you want, you can also whisper it to whomever. I'm just going to leave it blank so that way you can actually see it in chat. You can also send this as your account, but I would suggest sending everything that's coming through a bot as the bot account to avoid confusion. There we go. And that's pretty much it for like getting everything set up. So now we're going to go into the underlying stuff with the buttons before we get into the overlay. So with sound buttons, you're going to want holding and frequency on, so that way you can see who's like holding the button and or who's pressing it. If you have a cooldown, the holding really isn't going to matter, so you could probably honestly leave holding toggled off and just have frequency on, but I tend to just leave them both on, so that way you can see if someone is holding a button, provided you have no cooldown on said sound. The API keys are only going to require frequency. It will not work if you have holding on. It will actually crash the bot, so keep that in mind. All right, and the same for text. I don't know why this is labeled crumbs. I must have been thinking something else, but we will change that to hello. The text button you're also going to want on just frequency. You're not going to want that on holding. So, yep, keep that in mind. You probably don't want the text and or your sounds on an actual keyboard trigger. You'll want people to actually click those with their mouse and or finger, provided they're on different devices. And then these ones are the ones that you're going to want for actual keyboard triggers, so that way people don't have to click from side to side and have the space and or the lapse of time in between button presses, so that way they can actually control it with their keyboard, so it feels like they're actually playing the game on their own PC. That's the way I just prefer to set up button presses. And that is pretty much gonna wrap it up for setting up the actual settings within the developer lab. And again, you're gonna wanna hit save after you've made any changes, so that way everything saves. If you're not changing your buttons around too much and you're not changing too many settings with this, if you're only changing like the name and the spark cost and the help text, then you realistically, and the cooldown, if you're only changing these four, you realistically only need to hit save and you don't have to re-import your JSON. But if you move buttons around and you change the position of things and or you set up keyboard triggers, you're going to need to re-import your JSON. And again, when you import your JSON, the only thing that's going to stick is game controls. Everything else will be reverted back to a nothing button, so you will have to set them back up. Whoops. And I just deleted a button. All right, now to actually get into the API and the party and also the text. So we are going to need to go over to our page. We've already entered interactive mode. We've selected the Mega Soundboard, which is what we're going to be using for testing. And then we're going to want to click that. And boom. So here we are. There we see our button. So here we go with a sound to test.
You're breaking my heart.
Awesome. There we go. Let's try the API. Pokemon, I choose you. Happiny. Happiny used gravity. Awesome. All right, let's check out the up and the down. All right, down and up is working. So I can't properly show this off because I don't have another PC to actually utilize the buttons on, and for some reason it's not working on my phone. The button presses aren't actually notifying and or getting cataloged. So I can only really test you right here. So if a game were running and you were clicked over here within the board, you'd actually be able to control the game that I was playing. This should control the movement of characters. I will admit I haven't gotten this to work because I've not really gotten too in depth with interactive gaming that has been 3D or whatnot. So when I start getting into this, I will make another tutorial for it. I am sorry that I can't get you into the joystick right now, but that's what this is. And again, joystick is a button over here. Sorry, I didn't actually hit this tab, but joysticks used to intuitively control movement and directions. So while I haven't played any games that have utilized it, it is something that I'm looking forward to doing. This one is screen controls. Again, I should have probably gone over this a little bit earlier, but the screen controls will actually allow you to point and click on screen. So that kind of ties in with the up and down over here. So while you're playing with your keyboard, you could like sit and click on stuff to like attack and or talk to people. I gotten it working a little bit in Diablo to where people could target things for me, but because it is click to move, I wasn't actually able to get them to walk around with it, which was a little bit sad. But the mouse clicks would work for something different, like if you were on your dashboard, or excuse me, your desktop, you know, people could use the mouse clicks to like delete your trash or like get into a program, this, that, or the other. Anything that has like just a click feature rather than like click to walk feature would be really easy for you to select things, which is awesome, like getting within navigating menus within the game and what have you. But just be warned that when you set up controller commands, you know, with your keyboard and or mouse movements or whatnot, it takes control over your actual hardware and what screen you're actually currently in. So if you're in a game screen, they're only going to be able to control what's within the game. Yet if I click out and tab out to the desktop, then they'll be able to click on the desktop wherever they want. For example, the X over here, you know, getting rid of stuff and etc. So keep that in mind. You're going to want to be careful with that. It will allow users to fully control your keyboard and stuff if you set up all those buttons. Here we are going to go with the text, see if it works, and there it does. Hello world. Awesome, awesome. All right, so the last button that we actually need to test and look into a little bit more for setup is the celebration button. So this one is completely new to me. We're going to be checking this out for the first time. And it seems to have crashed. Celebration should only have frequency on in the dev lab. All right, so that is another one that you are going to want to head over here and turn holding off. So again, side note, API, celebration, and text only need frequency, not holding. We'll save that. Go back to the main interactive tab, reinitialize the bot, and test. Boom! I can see him in OBS. Awesome. All right, so now to show you how to get that available. Sorry for the recordingception, but we're going to need to head over here. You're going to want to go up to browser source. You're going to want to add a new browser source. You're going to want to hit local file, browse, navigate to your Firebot folder. And within the Firebot folder, there is all these other folders. You're going to want to click into overlay, and you're going to want to click Firebot and then open, and then OK. And you place that wherever you want. You can make it as big or as small as you want. Now I have 2, which is fine, but we will test that out. Bam, party. Woohoo! We've got fireworks. So yeah, I'm really hoping we get a bunch more variety for that. As you could see within the releases right over here, he had said that the celebration button is new. It allows you to build fireworks, and down here it says that he'll be updating and adding more. But this is also how you're going to be getting your media inside of it as well. Let me actually get back to the game screen. So provided you have a picture that you're wanting to put up, this is also going to be located within your overlay. Alright, so now that we've got our media set up, let's test out the party command again. There we go. We have our fireworks. Awesome. So again, you've got to go into the overlay within the Firebot folder to get that in, and you'll want to put that in as a browser source in OBS. Just search as a local file. I run over this again. Just search as a local file and then open it up as a browser source. But I will admit I ran into an odd bug, so that's why you will be seeing this very, very awkward cut. So here we are.
And again, you're breaking my heart.
There is a GIF which is attached to the sound, which is how you would do attach media through the any command or button that you want. I don't know why I keep saying command, but for every button, you will have to, you know, like it says, add the overlay.html file. But as you can see, the fireworks are coming up in 2 spots. This is only coming up in 1 spot. So in order to actually get that to show up, what you're going to need to do is go over here and inside of, oops, wrong one. Inside of the browser source, you'll know that the local file is just set to this, but selecting that for some reason doesn't actually allow the GIF to show up. So what I did is I went over and actually opened that up within the folder itself, and I actually went to the web page to see if the GIF was working, and the GIF was working, and images do work as well, but for some reason you have to have the file : / before whatever your file path is for the overlay, or else GIFs and images don't appear. So that is a thing. Again, sorry for the awkward cut, but I had to figure that out. It was eating at me. And with that, I think that's about it for Firebot. There are a couple of other features that he had mentioned about adding, and just more features to the buttons that there already are available. Like a clicker boss, I think, was one of those ones that he was going to be adding, to where if you have mouse clicks enabled on your stream or whatnot, and you have the button for the clicker boss, it would essentially pop up a boss, like a little cookie clicker boss, and then everybody could click on it, and then at the end you could get currency dispersed to everybody who helped win the fight and whatnot. So those are just a couple of the things, as well as like different animations for the celebration effects that are supposedly coming to the bot itself, which I am super stoked for. But with that, I'm pretty sure I covered just about everything that it's got to offer. You do have a bug report tab over here, so if you have any issues that you want to open, you can open an issue here, or if there are issues that you think might already be open, you can click this and then go to the forum page, which I guess it's not really a forums, it's the issues tab on GitHub, but it will allow you to either add and request things and or just put in your bug submissions, which will help the developer out a ton. And yeah, other than that, that's about it. I hope you guys could follow along. I'm sorry for it being so weird and me sounding like I'm unsure about what was going on. It's just I was having some minor errors with disconnection of the bot. It was there was a blip with my internet, so it kept desyncing. But again, I appreciate you guys stopping by. Thank you for watching the videos, and I hope you enjoy all the tutorials. If you want any more information on any other programs and or features of bots and whatever they may have and or need explained, feel free to comment down below and or DM me on Twitter or Discord. I mean, hit me up wherever you can find the links to pester me and ask me questions, and I will try to make the best tutorial I can for you.